In heaven, Lord, speak to us and give us understanding of what you are going to be saying. That at the end of it all, Lord, we will become people who can live the life that you want us to live. Thank you, Father, because we know you heard us and you will answer us for what we asked in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, I like the way they have put the topic, all things entrepreneurial skill acquisition. At first, perhaps let me introduce myself again. Who is this man standing before you? Because I was told of a story of a man who was invited to speak somewhere. And when he stood up, he said, I'm going to talk about life after death. And immediately he said that somebody put up his hand. He said, yes, sir, what can I do for you? He said, sir, I want to know, before I sit here and listen to you, you want to talk about life after death. You don't die before. How do you know about life after death? Entrepreneurial skill acquisition. What is that? What does this man have to do with that? As he said, I was trained as an engineer, and I worked as an engineer and retired from the civil service 27 years ago. Yes, I left the civil service 27 years ago. And I left because the Lord specifically spoke to me, go to the church, because along the line, in 1993, I went and studied entrepreneurship in addition to my engineering. And the Lord spoke to me because after finishing my training in the UK, he said, go back home. And I came back and he said, go to the church and educate Christians about entrepreneurship, the issue of money, economy. And so for the past almost 30 years now, that's what I've been doing. And as he said, traveling all over the place, trying to educate Christians about the subject of entrepreneurship, the skill acquisition thing, and about money. And so when I'm invited to speak anywhere, I don't see it as my coming as a favor to the people who invited me. It's just God speaking, and I thank you for the opportunity, because when you carry a load and somebody helps you to put it down, you thank the person. Is that not so? I carry a load. More so, when I got this invitation, I was excited because I've been looking for a platform to address students because of the situation we find ourselves these days. During our time, when we left the university, they were looking for us because there were jobs all over the place. But now you graduate for years, no job. There are no jobs, true, but there is work. Plenty of it. And so we're looking for people who can work, people who will do things that will benefit others. And so when I left and I was doing these trainings about entrepreneurship, I left with the understanding of this adage. I'm sure many of you have heard it. They say, give a man fish and you feed him for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, what happens? Sorry? You feed him for life. I know. Do you know that statement is not true? Hello? Did you hear me? That statement is what? It's not true. I went with that understanding, and also everywhere, even be part of the skill acquisition trainings, because we want to teach people how to, because skill acquisition is about how to. And over the years, we discovered something, like there are so many organizations now into skill acquisition, and they train people. But as I said, that statement is not true, because many of the people who have gone through skill acquisition training and even given starter packs, they end up selling them. True or false? They sell them. Because, so we discover that, yes, it's true. If you give a man fish, you feed him for a day. But if all you do is teach him how to catch fish, you give him a net, he will sell it to buy fish. And that's what has been happening. He will sell the net to buy fish. So there is something missing. There's something missing. So first, what I would want to do is to share with you what we discovered as the missing thing, and then explain how we can acquire it. Because as young people, when you leave, you don't have to wait for government job. You're able to find your own job. As I said, for the past 27 years when I left the civil service, if not because of the understanding that I have and the rest of it, by today, one would have not been even feeding. Because before you can get a contract in government people today, you must do some things. Is that not true? That's the problem. And so when I made this discovery, I realized that young people need to know about it. And not only young people, everybody needs to know about it. Because currently, because of these trainings that I'm involved in and what I'm concerned about, as Prof said, wanting to see people live well and finish well, this other aspect which I've added to is the issue of retirement. That's another thing I'm passionate about. I teach that. Just yesterday we had the discussion at the National Institute, the SEC 48, because that's one other place I teach also. The issue of retirement. So I want us to answer some 4 questions. Or I want us to treat the topic by answering questions. I discover that when you ask questions, you get to understand things better. So entrepreneurship and skill acquisition, or entrepreneurial skill acquisition, whichever you put it, what do we mean by that? What is it about? What is entrepreneurship all about? What is skill acquisition all about? What is it to us as Christians? Why should we be bothered about them? What are their relevance to Christians? So first is entrepreneurship and skill acquisition. What are they? Then 2 is, what is their relevance to us as Christians? What's the relevance to us as Christians? And then 3 is, what will it take for you, a Christian, to become an entrepreneur, acquire skills, and live as an entrepreneur using the skills you've acquired? That tells you that entrepreneurship, skill acquisition are 2 different things, isn't it? Because you need the 2 to live well in this life. And then tomorrow, God willing, we'll be looking at a case study about how somebody was brought out of a situation. Mostly, as I said, the issue of money, that's my area of interest. Because I discovered that all the churches I've been to, both within and outside this country, I realized that I'm yet to go to a church that does not collect offerings. And that's one thing that's common to all of them. But unfortunately, we don't talk to people about the money, apart from only during offerings. So we will use that, somebody who had a money problem, how the person was brought out of the need, using these principles that we are going to be talking about. The person being an entrepreneur, and then the person having skills. We'll combine the 2 and see how they are used. Are we ready? Is that okay? So can we start with the first question? Entrepreneurship and skill acquisition. Can I have maybe 1 or 2 people? Let's interact. What is entrepreneurship? When you heard the word entrepreneur and entrepreneurship, what does it mean? Who is an entrepreneur? Hello? Who is an entrepreneur? It's not church service, so you can ask questions, right? It's only at church service we don't ask questions. Hello? Who is an entrepreneur? Yes, please, help us. Who is an entrepreneur? Okay, so you give the microphone to, okay, I thought there were 2. Okay, let's take him, then we'll take the other person. Who is an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneurship is the process of launching a new business or enterprise.
launching a business or an enterprise, okay? Yes, somebody was there. Who is an entrepreneur? Oh, okay.
An entrepreneur is somebody that is industrious, meaning somebody that can use his hands to do something that will bring in money.
Okay? Who is an entrepreneur? Let's take that last one and we'll go on because of time. Who is an entrepreneur?
It's somebody who finds problem and then gets solution that people can pay for.
Beautiful. Okay, you're all good. You're all correct, I think, to an extent. An entrepreneur, if an entrepreneur were to come to Jos, the first thing about him is that he will not look for a job. But he will be looking for problems. Because an entrepreneur is one who sees a problem, comes up with a solution for it. And the solution or the problem is usually a need that people have. And the solution could be a product or a service. So an entrepreneur comes up with the solution to that problem and then gathers what he needs to invest to create an enterprise which he uses to produce the solution or the problem and make it available to those who have need for that product profitably. Profitably. That is, in summary, who an entrepreneur is. And you realize that an entrepreneur may not necessarily be engaged in the production of the product or the service itself. You could employ other people. You could employ other people. And so, a person who sees needs and is able to invest or raise capital, whatever, that can enable him produce the product or the service that meets that needs and makes it available to those people who have that need profitably. The thing is that once you are solving problems for people and you make it available to them the way they would want to have the solution to the problem, whether you like it or not, they will reward you. True or false? You know, the day I got insight into what money really is, anytime I lack money, I don't blame myself. I don't blame anybody. I don't blame where I blame myself. Because money is simply reward for service. In Hausa, it said, Sheda nunango dia. Kudi itache sheda nunango dia, appreciation note. Money is reward for service. So if you have no money, all you need to do is look for problems and find the people who have those problems, solve the problem for them, make it available to them in a way that they will love it, it will solve their problems, and they will reward you. That's why there's plenty money in Nigeria. Hello? There's plenty money in Nigeria. Why? Plenty problems. Plenty problems. The problem why we are not harnessing these problems and getting the needs met is our understanding of how life should be lived. The reason why we are having problems is our understanding of how life should be lived. And that's why I want, as I said, what is the relevance of entrepreneurship to a Christian? When God opened my understanding to it, I realized that every one of us, if you are a Christian, you are supposed to be an entrepreneur. But the mistake we've made, and that's what is creating all this confusion, especially to young people, is the fact that if you are an entrepreneur, you must have a shop or you must be producing something. Do you know teachers are entrepreneurs? Preachers are entrepreneurs. True or false? True. If you can solve problems, So young people, it's about knowing that you are in school to be trained to become a problem solver. From day one, when you choose a course, the first thing you need to know is this course that I'm reading, what problem am I going to solve when I finish, when I graduate? When I graduate, what problem am I going to solve? But these days, the problem I find with young people, I say, which course are you reading? Local government administration. Ah, you want to become local government chairman? I say, no, not the course where they give me be that. It's about being trained to be a problem solver. The course you are reading should be making you a person who can solve problems tomorrow. And I will explain this concept later as we go along. So an entrepreneur is a problem solver. And you must have, therefore, the mindset of one who solves problems. You are here in the world as a problem solver. The idea of entrepreneurship and Christians. As a Christian, if you know who you are and why you have no choice but to be an entrepreneur. Because if you are not living and people are benefiting from you because of what you do, you are not living. When God opened my understanding to entrepreneurship, that's why I had to go and study entrepreneurship and educate people. He asked me this question. He said, when you have a problem and you pray to God for the answer or for the solution to the problem, how does God get the solution to you? How does God get a solution to a problem for you? For example, if I'm hungry, I need food, and I pray to God. We say God is up, right? What does God do? He rained food for me from heaven. Is that what he does? How does he get food to me? He uses a human being. So the arrival of every child, the arrival of every human being in the world is the arrival of the answer to somebody's question. The arrival of the answer to somebody's prayer. You are here equipped but not qualified. That's why you need training. I will explain that. But you need to know that you are here to solve somebody's problem. You are here with the answer to somebody's question. And so when you live life and nobody is benefiting from you, you are not living. No wonder. Well, I'm going to be making reference to many passages, okay? Just write them down. When you get back home, you can read some of them. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. Paul said something there that is key. He said, for even when we were with you, thank you, this we commanded you, that if any man would not walk, neither should he what? That means if you are not walking, if you are not, because work is what you do to create value for people. If you are not creating value for people, you'd rather be dead. That tells us that every human being is important. You are carrying something the world is waiting for. And work, if work is doing what will solve problems for people, entrepreneurs work. Is that not so? Is that not so? Entrepreneurs work. Paul says, if a man will not work, he should not eat. I hope parents are here also. I can see some people. That is to tell your parents that if you do not allow your children to work, tomorrow we'll be talking more about that. So that's one of the strategies God expects us to do. Even our children, we must, if there's anything you will leave for your children, is the mindset of work. Not assets, not money, not houses. Because whatever you leave for your children, if only you leave them with the mindset of people who can live productive life, they will get more. True or false? If a man will not walk, he should not eat. Matthew 25, 14 to 25, to 30, the parable of the talents. That's where we'll be focusing in today mostly. But that passage saying God gave, or the master was traveling, he called his servants and gave them talents. 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 1. And we're told he went, came back, and asked them to give account. Is that not so? One is the one with the 1 talent that I'm interested in. The man did not use his talents. He hid it. And what the master told that man is key to how we should live life and why we must be productive people. First thing he said, he's a wicked man. That's a serious assertion. God sent you into this world with talents which you will use to solve problems for people. If you refuse to use them to solve problems for people, you are a wicked person. Because somebody will die because of you. He said, you are a wicked man. Look, the least I expect of you is to have done what? Put it in the bank. Now that I'm back, I would have gotten some interest from it. Friends, God expects us to use our talents for the benefit of others. God expects us to use our talents to serve others. Through that, many lost will be back to the kingdom. He said, the least I expect of you, and I want to say this so that you understand. I'm speaking mostly to young people, and even the old ones too, because there's never a time that you should be idle. The man said, you should have put it in the bank. Do you know what that means when it comes to human talents? When you put money in the bank, do they leave it there? What do they do? How do they trade with it? They give out loans to people who can trade with money. What that verse is saying as regards human beings is that the least God expects of any of us is that you are employed by another man, but not that you are idle. You are employed by another man or another person. So being an employee is the least level of living in terms of how we are expected to live. God expects us to be creators of platforms on which we create value. But because of the way we are, you know, all of us, nobody was born an adult. We were born young and we all grew up. Is that not so? One young baby were asking, say, oh, you've grown so big. Oh. He said, yes, my mommy gave birth to me very small, but I've grown all by myself. I'm now very big. You are expected to grow. And so, you know, when we work with others, and I'm bringing my retirement thing here now, it's expected that you go through this paid employment or working for others as a period. It's a phase in life. After a time, you are expected to graduate. And one of the things expected of you down the road is that you create your own enterprise. The reason why we are having unemployment today is not because there are no problems, but people who could have created platforms on which values are to be created that will provide employment opportunities for people are not there. I was telling some of my friends, I said, we graduated about 29 of us from my class as engineers, and we worked for how many years? I said, if after some time all of us opted out and created some other thing, we will create employment opportunities. Is that not true? But we're not doing that. And it's all because of our mindsets that we carry, not entrepreneurial mindsets. It's expected that we are supposed, at the end of the day, become entrepreneurs. I'm talking to young people. Because when you graduate, we will expect you to end up as entrepreneurs. People who have created platforms on which value is created. This platform that value is created, we call it business. Is that not so? And the truth is this. As long as, because of timing, because usually these seminars take us almost a week, to explain to you the structure of an enterprise and how you put it together, what you need to run it, and the fact that what we call a business has different jobs that can bring in many people to run each of these aspects for you, and then with time, these people can also grow and start their own enterprises. What you call a car today is not manufactured whole like that by one company. There are companies that their own specialties make tires. Some their own is even the steering. Some is just some door handle. And you find out that all these people together, somebody is there assembling the thing together, and we call it what? A car. So there are opportunities. There are opportunities. But our problem, as I said, is that we've not understood a concept that I would want to explain for you for the remaining time that I have. An entrepreneur is a problem solver. The man who has the mind for problem solving. But when it comes to the solving the problem, actually you need skills. Is that not true? And so these two must go together for any productive life to be lived. And so when it comes to the issue of getting people to be entrepreneurs and live as entrepreneurs, create enterprises to run them, manufacture products or render services, there are two very important aspects that must be in place. An entrepreneur is a person. Skills, the ability to do. The mistake that we've been making, that's why we're having people who are given nets, they sell them to buy fish, is the fact that we have been concentrating on skills. The discovery I made is that the person comes first before skills. So if we want people to change the way we live, like we want our young people to leave school and become people who will create businesses and employ other people, or people who will create enterprises that will solve problems, we must do two things. First, make them business people before equipping them with skills. Being comes before doing. You have to be before you can do. When it comes to getting people to do things, to live productive lives, they must first be productive people in the head, mindset, before we talk about hands. Let me explain this. Tomorrow, as I said, we're using a case study that will explain this very clearly. That when you want to help people, for example, the person lacks money, and you want to help the person to be able to live an entrepreneurial or business life, as we call it, you must look at the person first and get the person to be a person who can do business. Because knowing how to produce a product is not enough. And that's why there's a big gap in the strategy we have adopted in getting our young people to be able to employ themselves. We teach them skills, we teach them how to make soap, teach them how to make sandals. At the end of the day, they don't do it. Or you find somebody who is a very good tailor. If he sews dress for you, fantastic, but he never sits down to sew. Do you know people like that? There are some, if he makes it, you mean you did this? Yes. Then why are you not doing it? And the money, where did they pay? No day enough. The problem is you must first get the man right before equipping him with skills. I took time to ask God, what is the problem we have? Why are we teaching people how to do things and they are not doing? And he told me, we've missed the process. The person first, before skills. He has to be an entrepreneur first. Then we can equip him with particular skills for the problem he has been called to solve. Being comes before doing. But we are starting from doing. That's why things are not working. How I got to understand this, and it makes sense to me a lot, I came across a story because, as I said, we've been involved in training people, trying to get them to do things, and things are not working. So I asked, why is this not happening? And this fact came, I saw a story, that was what led me into understanding this. A man, this young man, every day he comes back from work, his small son will come and say, Daddy, let's play. And they are always playing. They will play, and then, but on this day, he came back from office with work. So when the son came, Daddy, let's play. Daddy said, give me some time. When I finish the work I'm doing, we will play. And the boy went off. Less than 20 minutes, he was knocking on Daddy's study. Daddy said, no, just hold on a little. When we finish, we'll play. The boy went off. Less than 30 minutes, he was again knocking. Daddy, can we now play? And Daddy wanted to keep him away for some time. And then he was thinking of what to do. And he saw on his table the page of a newspaper. And on the page, there's a picture of the wall, the globe. So the Daddy took it and divided, he tore it as a jigsaw puzzle and gave it to the young boy. Assemble the map back. When you finish, we will play. And as far as he was concerned, it's going to take this boy a long time. But less than 30 minutes, the boy was knocking. Thank you. The boy was knocking on the door. What is it, son? He said, Daddy, I have finished. I said, no, come on, you couldn't have finished. He said, come and see. So he went into the boy's room, and truly, the boy has arranged the thing perfectly. He said, how did you do it? He said, Daddy, I don't know the countries of the world, so I couldn't arrange the thing there. But I noticed that there's a picture of a human being on the other side. So when I got the man right, the world was right. Friends, the problems we are having in your work life, in your whatever life, the problem starts with the man. Until you get the man right, nothing will work. So in our attempt to get people to be entrepreneurs, we are equipping them with skills. Wrong strategy. We must first get the person right. So, when is the person right that we can equip with skills? Skill is the last thing, the how to. You must get the person right. So, when is the person right? How do we get the person right? I think that will be like laying the foundation of our desire to produce entrepreneurs. You must first be a person who can do entrepreneurship. You must first be a person who can practice entrepreneurship before, if we equip you with skills, you can go and live a productive life. The mistake we've been making, that the training that we put our people through. I remember the time that we did engineering during our time, because I graduated 81. That time, we go for practicals, we're cutting, with the hacksaw and all that, and what have you. But that was just skills issue. I realized that when we talk of getting the man right, it's more than the hands. So I want you to note this and try to understand what I'm trying to say and try to relate it to yourself and what you are doing, and perhaps looking around. That will help you to understand, so that by the time you leave this place, this idea of becoming entrepreneurial and living a productive life will be clear to you. And those of you who may be employing people, you will know why people don't do what you employ them to do. One of the biggest problems today on ground is that when you employ people to work, they are only thinking about salary. They've not produced anything, but they want salary. Or there are people looking for government work, not because they want to go and produce. The government are there, whether you come or not come, at the end of the month, they pay you salary. But it's those kind of people that when they retire, trouble day. Because the world does not pay you for grade level. They pay you for what? Value you create. So when it comes to raising entrepreneurs, people who will live productive lives, solve problems for people, you must first get the person to be an entrepreneur. Skills do not make people entrepreneurs. It's just an aspect of becoming an entrepreneur. So how do we get a man right or a woman right? How do we get a person right? Every human being can be divided into three. And when he's not performing well in life, when he's not living life as life should be lived, solving problems, or even if you engage him, he will not do well, because either one of those three parts is not working well, is not right, or all the three, or two of the three. So every human being, as I said, can be divided into how many parts? Three. First is the head. Second, the heart. Third, the hands. A person is said to have been made able to do something when these three parts have been made right for him to be able to function in the environment or in wherever the thing that you want him to do is done. So if you want a person to be an entrepreneur, the head, the heart, and the hands must be right as regards entrepreneurship. What is the head for? What do we use the head for? Thinking. It has to do with knowledge. And so if you want a man to live, okay, let me just use the generic term man, okay? If you want a man to function well in life, you want a man to do what you expect him to do right. As I said, you must first make him. Is that not so? So the head must be correct. And the head is correct when his knowledge about the matter, his thinking as regards the matter is correct. Is the truth. That's why you see Christianity is the truth, is perfect. Because the starting point of changing a human being is what? Mind renewal. Romans 12. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. That's the starting point. As long as the person is not thinking correct about a subject, he will never do it right. He will never do it right. What is your definition of work? The thing where person they do, make a fine chop. All his life, when he comes to work, what will he be thinking about? What will he be thinking about? Chop. Because that's how he sees work to be. So his head must be correct. And head is correct is when he's thinking right about the subject in question. Person goes into marriage and his knowledge of marriage is not correct. He will not do marriage correctly. You put him as a leader. He's thinking about leadership. The knowledge he has about leadership is not correct. He won't do leadership correctly, even if he has the skills. So the problem we've been having when it comes to living life the way life is supposed to be lived, because Christians were supposed to be entrepreneurs. How many of us know that that's what life is about? How many of us know that you are here to solve problems for people? Going into business is not about you. It's about the people you are serving. And as long as you go with the mindset of, I'm looking for money, you won't serve people well. Your definition of business is wrong. You won't do business right. So starting point of changing people to do things, getting people to do things, you start with the head. His definition, his knowledge about what you want him to do must be correct. Then the next one is what? The heart. Heart, summary of all about heart is character. Character. The head may be right. You know what is the truth. And you are desirous of implementing the truth. But the thing is that this world that we live in, we are not the only people in it. There are other people too. Is that not true? Negative forces, positive forces. So every time you want to do something right, what we call negative forces that we call derailment forces will come on you. And what it takes for you to be able to resist those negative forces that we call derailment forces that are out to stop you from doing what you want to do is character. I will enumerate the different aspects of what makes a character. So character is actually material science, the nature of a thing. If I lean on this, it's able to take my weight because of its character. So first is the mind. The knowledge must be correct. The person must have the strength to resist derailment forces. Paul in Romans 7, I think from verse 14, said he knows what is right to do, but he cannot do it. Anytime he wants to do it, what happens? He's unable to do. Why? Derailment forces. And I'm sure there are many of us here who knows what to do. You want to do, but when you start wanting to do, you cannot do. Go down 14, 15, 16, up to even 18. You'll find that Paul was crying out there, the good I want to do, I can't do. Why? There are negative forces. So when you are equipped with knowledge on its own cannot yield anything until it is put into use for the benefit of other people. And for you to be able to put what you know for the benefit of other people, you must have what it takes to resist the derailment forces. And then the hands. How many hands do we have, a human being? 2 hands. The hands are the doing aspect of the human being. That's where we call skills. Skills have to do with hands. But you will notice there are 2 hands. That means there are 2 types of skills a human being needs to function well. If we want you to be an entrepreneur, that is a problem solver. And we need to be problem solvers before God sent us into the world to solve problems for people. But for us to be able to do that, our head must be correct, our heart must be right, and our hands must be able to cause the thing to happen, because the world is a cause and effect place. Hello? Are we following? Does it make sense? There are 2 hands, so there are 2 types of skills that you need. And this is it, you will start understanding why many people go for skill acquisition and they end up selling the starter packs. Because most of the skill acquisition training programs that we do are dealing only with 1 hand. Can a bird fly with 1 wing? No. So one hand is the doing, the actual doing, the craft ability. They call it hard skills. The other hand is what enables the person to manage himself, having resisted these derailment forces, to use the ability to do. They call it soft skills. It is usually said the hard skill may get you a job. The craft ability may get you a job. But it is the soft skills that keeps you on the job. That has to do with relational issues, self-management. So let's start with the head again so that I can clarify what is expected there. It's mindset change, transformation. How a person sees himself will determine how the person lives. Your belief system, your worldview determines how you function in life. And so it's a waste of time teaching people how to do things when their mind is not right. Somebody who believes that work is wahala. If you give him work, will he do it? No. That's why you must first get the person right. So it's a waste of time talking about doing entrepreneurship in terms of skills and what have you when the person is not right. The head must be right. When people misbehave and you say your head not correct, it's correct. It's very, very true. It's very true. Because he's misbehaving, he's acting wrongly because of what is in his head. That's why the starting point of every change, the starting point of changing a human being to do whatever you want to do is attack what is in the head. That's why Romans 12, as I said, is key, because it said, if now that you've become a Christian, if you want to live as a Christian, do what Christians do. The first place of call is mind transformation, the head. You want to become an entrepreneur, you must think entrepreneurship. You must think as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs function in an environment that there are forces working to make sure they don't do what they are supposed to do. So he must have the strength to resist all these things. That's what we call character. We call that character. And there are 5 dimensions of character that a person will have. The fruit of the Spirit that we as Christians have, at the end of the day, 9 of them, what makes you to be a person who can have these 5 things that I'm talking about. So the first requirement for good character that can enable you to resist derailment forces, to act as an entrepreneur, to live as an entrepreneur, the first is courage. You must be courageous. Because by the time you step into the world of entrepreneurship, you will see things that if you are not strong, you can't stand. The second is endurance. Endurance. The third is vision. You must see tomorrow today and live today for tomorrow so that when you reach tomorrow, whatever you meet there will not surprise you. Vision. Fourth, love. Fourth is love. If you don't love people, you can't serve them. If you don't love God, you won't live as God expects you to live. And then 6. 6. Aha, very good. I'm just checking to find out whether you are following me. 5, discipline. Discipline. You must be disciplined. And a disciplined person has these traits. First, ability to delay gratification. If you don't have that ability, by the time you sell one product and you have 5,000 in your pocket, the first shoe or first whatever they bring to you, you just spend. ability to delay gratification. 2, creativity. You must be creative. 3, you must be visionary. Well, I have talked about being visionary. So can I use another word? With ability to, okay, let me round it up like this. Ability to learn new things, to change. Ability to change. Balance. That's the 4th one. Ability to remain where you are expected to be, to do what you are supposed to do. Then the next one that I was trying to use that other word is trustworthiness. Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted? That's character. That's character. Then the last but not the least is the willingness to change. Willingness to change. And that's a product of desire to learn new things. And when you will learn new things, be ready to change. Because many of us, as it was in the beginning, so it is, world without, as we now saw the teachers before. No, the world is changing. You must change, oh. You must change. Will ability to change as time changes. Those are marks of people who have the character to be able to implement the knowledge they have if they have the skills. So we've talked about the head, the heart, now the hands, isn't it? And you need the hands because we live in a world of cause and effect. Genesis 8:2 says, as long as the earth remains, there shall be seed time, harvest time. Until you sow, you can't reap. That means you must do to get. You must do to get. So you need skills. But as I said, there are 2 types of skills. The doing ability, which is the craft ability. But the soft skills we're talking about, they are aspects of character, actually. But they enable you to manage yourself to do what you are expected to do with your hands. And you do with your hands what you know. So as you sit in a class and you are taught things, it's expected that you go and put them into practice for change to happen. As I said, a man could learn how to sew, and he knows how to sew very well. He sews you dress, fantastic. But buy a sewing machine and give him. He never stays to sew. Why? He cannot manage himself. Self-discipline. He can't manage himself. Or he knows how to sew very well, and the work is coming plenty. Employ others to help him. He will quarrel with everybody, including customers. Can that kind of person grow a business? No way. That's an aspect of skill. Relationships, ability to maintain relationships. The ability to manage whatever is given to, like stewardship of money. Tomorrow we'll be talking about that. That's one of the things that we need to be able to prosper in entrepreneurship. You must be able to steward whatever is given to you well. So friends, briefly, this is what it takes for you to become an entrepreneur. You must first be a person who can do before you can use the skills. Being comes before doing. As I was trying to understand this, I looked around to see, Lord, what we are talking about, can we see it anywhere? Because I looked into the Bible again, Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. Let's look at that and see. Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. Then he said to them, follow me, and I will what? I will what? So before they can fish men, they have to be made. Before you can do entrepreneurship, before you can practice entrepreneurship, you must first be made an entrepreneur. So the missing link, why we've not been able to succeed in producing people who can be entrepreneurs, despite all the courses, whatever that we're doing, we're not making them entrepreneurs. And to make a person entails working on his head, his heart, and his hands. That's our master talking. Then I looked out of the Bible and looked around to see whether I can see anywhere that they are using this principle. And I discovered it. You know where that is happening? The military. Do we have any retired soldier here? I wish, because everywhere I go, I always ask that question. Because one of my students, when I was trying to explain this concept of being and doing, some officers that were training, and I was asking this question, I said, come, if you want to understand this concept, look at the military. You take a bloody civilian, and after 6 months, he comes back. When the Oga said, you are stupid, he will say, yes, sir. Is that not so? You know, when I said that, the officer said, no. When the officer says you are stupid, you say, yes, sir, always. I said, what? I said, what do they do to them that they become like that? Because even a uniform, you put uniform on top of me and say I'm stupid. Will I say, yes, sir? What I do you? How can you tell me I'm stupid? What I do you? So the army, what they do is they first make you a soldier before they deploy you. That is a strategy. And it's from where? The Bible. I will make you fishers of men. Some translations don't bring it well. They say, I will teach you how to fish men. If all you teach them is how to fish men, give them the net, they will sell it and buy fish. And so we need to make our people to become entrepreneurs. People who can do entrepreneurship. People who can do business. If it is money, people who can make money. Because money alone does not make a person rich. You have to be a person who can be rich. Before, when money comes, you can be rich. I was telling them somewhere, I said, look, I discovered that there's no shortage of money. But the problem is why we lack money, many of us, is that money does not go where it is needed. Money goes where it is attracted. And you attract it only when you have become a person who can attract money. If money comes to your house mistakenly, you didn't attract it, you know what it will do? It runs away. I wish it only runs away. But when money comes to a poor man's house and it runs away, it leaves marks on the wall. This house not be a place where you go stay. That's why when money come, they too go follow. That's why the poor are becoming poorer and the rich are becoming richer, because it's not about money. I was somewhere yesterday about this retirement something, and somebody was asking the question, and this retirement planning we're talking about, the man was asking a question. He said, wait a minute, all these things you people are talking about, how much is the salary? That you are talking of saving and what have you and the rest, how much is the salary? And I looked at the man and I laughed, and I said, my dear, this system is set up to keep you a slave. And so they will never pay you the salary you need. But what they give you contains seed. And if you have an understanding of the fact that there's seed, then you force yourself to eat only the fruit and then sow the seed. And with time, the thing will grow. You too will get your mango tree. But for that to happen, you must first become. You must first be a person who can be rich. So when they take people into the army, and you know, God has a funny way of doing things. When I was in the secondary school, in those days, I did cadet. We were trained as soldiers, so understand exactly what happens in the military training. They work on your head, your heart, and your hands to make you a soldier. Same pattern we must follow in entrepreneurship. When you come in, in those days, or even now, you go, you have hair. By the time you come and register at the door to enter, they will tell you, go inside there. When you go there, what do they do with you? They will create, I mean, you don't go there before, sir. They will crepe your head, barb the whole thing with a knife, everything. You know what that means? The thing where you bring, we'll go remove them, put our own. They want to make you a soldier. Then, in the army, it's teamwork to achieve a goal. As an entrepreneur, you are going to work with people. You must understand teamwork. You must be able to work with other people. You know how they train soldiers for teamwork? Parade ground. Every day at the depot, you must go for parade. And people wondering, the kind of work, I'm going to be working in the kitchen. I don't need to be doing parade. I'm not going to be parade. No way. Whether you are going to work in the kitchen or even you are going to shine shoes, you must go for parade. Why? It is there they make you to be a team player. When they are doing the parade, left, right, as they walk. When they are looking left, they're looking right. Is that not so? You know what they are doing? Make sure that you are same line. You are not leaving your partner behind. And as you are going, the man said, left turn, you turn left. You go, he said, right turn. You know what they are trying to do there? Obey orders. And as they do left, you go this way. When you want turn, the man will say right turn, for example. And say, okay, go better make a turn left. Is that what you will do? Will you do that? No. So by the time you do that for 6 months, 7 months, you become, fella say, zombie. Not be zombie. They've made him somebody who obeys orders. They are producing a new person. Then they put you through this obstacle training, climbing rope. Do what you'll be asking yourself, what is this? What has this got to do with army? Let's go shoot gun, my friend. If you don't go through the obstacle, what have you and the rest, you go war front, you're not going to stay. So they are doing what? Training you to be able to resist the environment, the things that the environment that you are going to operate in will bring on you. So you have the strength to resist. And after they've done all those things, work on the head, work on this character, the strength of the body, then we'll now go and touch the hands. They don't start with shooting gun. They make you a person who has the right head when it comes to being in the military. They get you the person who has the strength to function in the environment where you will do soldiers' work. Then they will give you the skills to shoot or to do whatever you have been called to do. In the same vein, friends, if you are going to be an entrepreneur, first, your understanding of what entrepreneurship is. And we said it is what? Problem solving. Providing solutions for people, to human needs. Why do you have to live like that? You are created to be a problem solver. You are a problem solver. But for you to be able to do that, in the world there are negative forces. So you must be able to resist them. So you must develop character. The ability to resist derailment forces. Then we talk of causing to happen. Then able to relate with others. Until that happens, until you become a person who can do, you can't do even if we give you the skills to do. That has been our missing link. That has been the reason why we are producing graduates and they cannot use the knowledge they have. They know how to do things, but they are not people who can do them. You have to first become a person who can do. Because being comes before doing. Work on the head, work on the heart, and work on the hands. Somebody will say, how about the legs? Abi, do you know that wherever the head goes, the legs will go? Wherever the head goes, the legs will go. And so once you've gotten the head right, and the heart right, the hands right, you are good to go. You are good to go. So our problem is the making process. School is supposed to be a making place. We are supposed to make people. It's discipleship. That's what it's all about, discipleship. I will make you fishers of men. I'm saying, follow me, I will make you people who can make money. Follow me, I'll make you people who can live with one another. So this topic, which we're interested in only 2 days we have, so is an abridged version I'm giving you, is a key requirement for living and functioning in this world. Christians, many of us are not enjoying the experience of living life. Jesus said in John chapter 10, verse 10, I have come, the second part, he said the thief comes to steal and kill. Is that not so? But he has come to do what? To give us and life what? Abundantly. The life where they live now, abundant life. They enjoy them. As I said, I travel a lot. So I heard one story. And actually it was here in Plateau, a Mangu. I'm sure some of you can speak Hausa. They told me a story and I said, that's how many Christians are living. So one mad woman caught a vulture. You know, vultures have disappeared, isn't it? I don't see them again. She caught a vulture live. She just dipped the thing inside hot water that she was boiling on the fire to cook the vulture. And the vulture started struggling to escape. So she, Angulusa ka gudu ne, dunia se hakuri. Muma haka muka samu duniya. Kaya hakuri, abin ya hau kanka. You say, vulture, you want to run? Now so the world there. We save now so we find the world. I beg. Just manage them. I go eat you whether you like them or not. You know, Christians, we sing very funny songs. When we get to heaven, there shall be no more sorrows. Who told you that? Sorrow got day for heaven for many people, oh. Because they didn't live well. They didn't live correctly. And why did they not live correctly? They didn't know how to become people who can live life correctly. So they could not live correctly. That's why you must give attention to this thing. Oh. I'm passionate about wanting to teach people about these issues, especially how to make money, to live, to do what God has sent you to do, because of who we are and why we are, and the role that money plays in the life of a Christian. So 2 things, I'll just explain that, then I may give some few questions. Is that okay? And we close. Is that okay? So, your life, I discovered, is 4 things. And that's why you must live life correctly and do what God sent you to do. Because when you fail to do that, not only are you going to suffer, but me too go suffer. Your life is a trust. Put that down. Your life is a trust. We'll explain what each of them means. Your life is a promise. Your life is a promise. Your life is a part of a whole. Your life is an opportunity. How many things with that? 4. When you know what your life is, then you'll be more encouraged to become this entrepreneur that I'm talking about. When we say something is a trust, what does it mean? Because of time, let me just explain very quickly. If I say, I give you this, if I meet somebody and I give him my key, and I said, I give you this, and I say, I entrust you this key, have I said the same thing? No. When I say, I give you, that means I've relinquished ownership. Go and do whatever you want to do with it. But if I say, I entrust it to you, it means I've given it to you for something, and I will expect you to what? Give account. When I say, I promise you, what is a promise? Pledge. I pledge to do something. When I say your life is a part of a whole, when I say something is a part of a whole, it's like I'm a complete human being, physically. If you cut off my hand, I become incomplete. Is that not so? My hand is a part of me. And when I say an opportunity, what's opportunity? Chance. I want you to know this, because this idea of becoming an entrepreneur and living a life of an entrepreneur is a must for you, a Christian. But you will not pursue this with zeal and be able to do it unless you understand who you are and why you are. God expects you to live as an entrepreneur. And for that, you need skills. But first, you must be an entrepreneur, one who desires to solve problems. But you will not know why you need to do it until you know who you are. So when I say your life is a trust, it's clear, isn't it? I think Romans what? That says we will all appear before God and give account of our lives, what we have done in the world. So a day is coming when we will appear before God to give account of what we have done. God sent you here equipped to solve problems for people as an entrepreneur. That is, God sent you to be an entrepreneur. And you are going to give account. Yeah, great. Romans 14:12. So then, each of us shall give account of himself to God. Why will God ask us to give account if he had not entrusted something to us? So our life is a trust. When we say your life is a promise, what does that mean? When I promise you something, I've pledged something to you. Pledge. God is our Father. When we have issues, we run to our Father. Is that not so? When you have issues as a child, you run to your father. And your father had promised, or your father will do for you because he's a father. Friends, listen to this. God has promised as a father to meet our needs. And he has sent you to live and do what he equipped you to do in answer to meet the needs of his children. And so when you are not living life to solve problems, people are crying up to God every day with needs. And God has sent you with the answer to the needs. When you fail to live as an entrepreneur, you are making God to be a liar. Because he had promised to solve the problem of his children. And he sent you. No wonder he said on the last day, those who refuse to do his will, live as he expected them to live, he would throw them in where? Where are they going to be thrown? Hellfire. Punishment. Is that not so? Why are they being punished? They didn't do what they were sent to go and do. Being an entrepreneur is a must. Because it is through being an entrepreneur that you will deliver the message that you were sent with. Your life is a promise. You are a promise to the world. When you fail to live as God expects you to live, that is, as an entrepreneur, you are making God to be a liar. Because people are praying to God every day, and there's no answer. They'll be saying, this God, he did there so. Meanwhile, he has sent you. If you send a child to go do something, and the child does not go do the thing, when he comes back, what are you going to do? What will you do to the child? I know I want these people here to talk first now. Let them talk too. What are you going to do? You will punish him. Now, let me see the hands of all those who would want to be punished when we get back. So go be an entrepreneur if you are not already an entrepreneur. That's the only thing that will save you. Your life is a part of a whole. What does that mean? It simply means that none of us was sent to solve all the problems. So we are all needed. Because when I play my part as hand, and he plays his part as the leg, and he plays his part as the eye, the human being will be complete. Is that not so? But when one part is not doing what it's supposed to do, for example, I lose one of the arms, what will I become? What will you call me? Handicap. Brothers and sisters, the problems we have in this world, it's not as if God does not know about them. He knows about them, and he has sent people equipped with the talents that if they develop, they can use to solve the problems. And not only will they solve, we even reward them for doing it. But because of the ignorance of what life is to be and how it's supposed to be lived, they are not living and playing their parts. And some of us are passionate about wanting to see you play your part. That's why we are going all over the place, teaching different people, doing their own part. So when one person is not playing his or her part, all of us suffer. That's why I want to see you play your part. That's why I'm here. Prof, thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to see you play your part, because when you are not playing your part, I'm missing something. That's why, I weep when I hear the killing of a human being by another human being. That's the most foolish thing, most stupid thing that can ever take place. Because that person you killed, you don't know what he or she is carrying that you may benefit from, or not even you, your great-grandchildren. You are sitting on a chair now. Is that not so? Did you make the chair? Do you know the person who made the chair? Assuming we have killed a person before, will we have a chair like this? No. Every human being is important, because you carry something that we are waiting for, and you will download it and make it available to us through being an entrepreneur. But it requires you getting your head correct, your heart correct, your hands right, and creating the solution for us. Then the last but not the least, your life is what? Opportunity. Do you know what is opportunity? Chance. Chance. When God was explaining this to me, you know what he told me? He showed me 3 candles burning. One was tall, one was like that, one was very short. He said, what do you see? I said, I can see candles. He said, look, every human being's life is like a candle. The day you are born, it's lighted. And it keeps burning until it finishes. That's the duration of your life. And you are expected to have delivered the message that you came with before the candle finishes. So I said, what's the meaning of one is tall, one is short, and this very short? He said, each human being has been apportioned time to live. Not all of us are going to live the same length of time. That short candle, as you did now, Do you know anybody who is younger than you that has died? Of course. Do you know somebody older than you that has died? Why have you then not died? Your candle never finished yet. Your candle never finished yet. The person who died at 20 years, the person who died at 1 year, the person that is the length of his candle. But let me explain something, because he showed me another thing again. As I was watching the candles burn, I saw something did like that. And the candle went out. And I said, the candle has not finished. Why did it finish? Why did it go off? He said, there is premature death. Satan is going up and down. He doesn't want you to live and be the entrepreneur that you're expected to be, to live and fulfill your purpose. So he wants to cut off your life before it is finished. And that's why becoming and living a life of entrepreneurship, you need God. Tomorrow, as I said, I will explain it more. You will see the place of God. You need God because he's the one that can protect your candle from being put off before time. No matter your ability, no matter your skill, no matter the money or whatever you have, look, if you don't have protection from the one that comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy, he will put off your candle before time. And not only putting off your candle, sometimes he may not even bother putting off your candle. He destroys what you are trying to do. So if entrepreneurship is about setting up a platform on which to create value, you yourself will have to be protected. The platform has to be protected. If you don't have the protection from the one that can protect you, you are wasting your time. And that example is very clear in the Bible. 2 passages, Job chapter 1, verse 8, 9, I think, verse 8 and 9. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shun evil? Yes. So Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for nothing? Let's go to 10. Have you not made what? A hedge around him. That's what can prevent your candle from being put off before time. That's what can prevent your enterprise from being destroyed. So becoming an entrepreneur is not just acquiring the mindset of an entrepreneur and the strength of an entrepreneur, but you need protection because you are not the only one in the world. You can start a business no matter whatever the business is. Let me tell you, the day you say you are a Christian, the world marks you. And the effort is to destroy whatever you are doing, to stop you from whatever you are doing, because when you prosper, the world would want to be like you. So you need God. You need God. It's foundational. And that's why having accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and become a Christian, be a Christian. Live a Christian. One man told me one story. He said, there's this Fulani man looking after his cows. Suddenly the cows started running. And the man was wondering what was happening. So he climbed a tree to see what was happening. And what did he see? It was this man with a bad leg. He was walking like that. You know, he was not saying, "Kai, mana minini wana? Inza kai dogo kai dogo. Inza kai kajere kai kajere. Kana dogo kana kajere wana kana kore mana shanu." If you are going to be tall, be tall. You are going to be short, be short. This one way they grow tall, they grow short. You drive our cows. If you are going to be a Christian, be a Christian. If you are not going to be a Christian, leave. Believe me, you, this one way, tomorrow you are this you are that, you are short, you are tall. You will suffer. Nothing where you do, where you go walk. Simon and his friends, Luke chapter 5. Luke chapter 5 from verse 1. They went fishing. Is that not so? Verse 2. Let's go to verse 2. Let's see. He said 2 boats. Jesus was teaching on the side. He saw 2 boats. And he went into Simon's boat and taught. Afterwards, he told Simon, throw your net. And Simon said, Master, we have labored all night. We didn't catch anything. But when Jesus said, because you spoke, I will do. And he did. Is that not so? And what happened? He caught fish, plenty, in that same place where they labored all night and caught nothing. It's not just about finding business to start. Oh, there are forces that don't want you to see anything. That's why everything where you put your hand on top, the thing will die. God is desirous of seeing you prosper, but you need his protection. If God can find your business usable, if he find, because your business is your boat, so if God can use your boat to catch his fish, he will give you the fish you need. In other words, as a Christian, let your business be the platform on which you preach the gospel. Pastors and the rest are like depot officers. They train soldiers. The real war is fought where? In the war front. That's the marketplace. That's why we want Christians in the marketplace. Christianity is not done in the church. The church is the hospital. We need entrepreneurs because we want you to go into the marketplace and fight the war. By living the lifestyle, Christian lifestyle, people will be attracted to becoming Christians. That's why Christians must be productive. Christians must be involved in the economy. So very quickly, let me say 1 or 2 words about money, and then we'll take questions. Is that okay? We need money as Christians. Because I discovered in the Bible that this thing called money, hey, not only here the thing will finish you. Even when we get to heaven, whether you had money and how you use it will show up. Do you know that? Hello? Do you know that? How? Good question. The first thing I want to let you know is that when you are poor, whatever is it you do in this world, you won't achieve the purpose. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verses 14 to 16 says something. That there was a small city. It was attacked by one strong chief. But they said there lived in that city. Let's just read that. Let's go to verse 14 again. Let's read it. So there was a little city with few men in it, and a great king came against it, besieged it, and built great snares around it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. I used to read this verse until one day I read from Good News. And it was saying something totally different, but it's all in line with this. He said, I have always said that wisdom is better than strength, but no one, okay, let's go back to 15. Someone lived there who was poor, but so clever that he could have saved the town, but no one thought about him. Let's go to 16. I've always said that wisdom is better than what? Strength, but no one thinks of the poor as wise or pays any attention to what they say. Friends, the reason why we want Christians to have resources is so they can have access to the world. If you are poor, they won't listen to us. The church is not being listened to today because of our condition, poverty. Good news says, there live in the city the rich, wise, poor man, but nobody made reference to him because a poor man's wisdom is despised. Do you know that when you are poor, when you lack, even in your own house, one man, now the wife, they feed the house. So they went to this meeting, traditional meeting, the village meeting, and people were raising their hands to contribute. They were raising their hands. So they were sitting with the wife. The man put his hand to make contribution. The woman talks, put out your hand. People, they talk, not be people like you. even in your own house, talk less of outside. Do you know that as brothers and sisters, when you go family meeting, if the junior is richer than the senior, automatically he becomes the senior? Is that not true? If meeting time don't reach and you never come, they're not going to start meeting. But if you, the senior, will not get anything, whether you come or you not come, meeting will go on. Is that not true? A poor man's wisdom. Why we want Christians to have the means to live and do what they're expected to do is because it gives us access to the world. Genesis chapter 6. Go and read that place. The story of Noah. God told Noah to construct an ark. Is that not so? He even prescribed the kind of wood to use. I read the whole of that place and I didn't see where God gave Noah wood. Which means if Noah did not have the means to buy the wood, he couldn't have constructed the ark. So you need resources to fulfill your purpose. Many of us will leave our work undone for lack. And there's no lack. You lack because you are not an entrepreneur. Because money is not with God. It's in the world. And the only way is in the world, but it's with people. And the only way the people can give you the money is if you solve problems for them. Is that not true? That means you have to be an entrepreneur. Matthew chapter 19, from verse, I think, 16 down or 12 down, right? The rich young man who asked, when Jesus, he said, what do I do to have eternal life? Jesus said, obey commandments. The man said, that one I do since when I was young. He said, oh yeah, go sell what you have. Give it to the poor, and you will what? You will what? You will what? Go, hey. 21 says, Jesus said to him, if you want to be perfect, go sell what you have and give to the poor, and you will have what? Treasure where? So we prepare for heaven where? On earth. Some of us are going to get to heaven and meet empty bank accounts. They told me one funny story. They said somebody arrived heaven and he went, they looked, welcome. They checked the books. His name was there. They ticked. They said, oh yeah, go with this angel. He will show you your house. And they went round and went round, no house. The man said, waiting, be like saying, I don't do mistake. He was telling the angel. The angel said, we know they make mistake here. If you don't get house, you don't get house because you didn't send anything here. We build with what you send. But now where they this side, not be the other side. As you did for here, you qualify for general ward. You know general ward, but? Or maybe, if that story is true, the way some of us are living, even GSF will not go qualify for that place. I'm telling you. Give to the poor and you will have treasures in heaven. Every time you give to a poor, you are crediting your account in heaven. Some of us, the way we live, I said, when I get job for myself, where I will give another person. Why you not get? It's because you are not living life as life is supposed to be lived. And let's take the last one, last but not the least. Matthew 25, from verse 31 to 46. Very interesting story there. Jesus said on the last day, we will appear before him, isn't it? Some people will be on the left, some on the right. Let me see. All those who would want to be on the left on that day, please stand up. Hello? You heard me now? All those who would want to stand on the left that day, please stand up. You know, I went to one church and I said this, and nobody stood up just the way you did or you have done. Then after a while, somebody put up his hand. So I said, yes, sir. Are you standing up? He said, no, okay, we know that story. None of us here wants to be on the left. But you say stand up, it's not be so. I said, yes. I said, you can see that none of us is standing up, but now only you they stand, so maybe in a day you won't go. So, I know that story. Anytime I want, maybe I find place to consider, maybe even to sit down on this floor. Honestly, even my enemy, I wouldn't want him to be on the left. Because the description of hell and what hell is not a place to go. You remember Luke 15, the Lazarus and the rich man? The man was crying for water. I said, just dip your finger, not bring bucket of water. That's what hell is. So nobody would want to go there. In his right senses, now you have the opportunity to prepare for the other place so you won't end up on the left. But the issue is, brothers and sisters, let's ask this question. What did the people on the left do that they ended up on left? And the people on the right, what did they do while they were here that they ended up on the right-hand side? That will give us insight into this thing that I'm talking about. What did he say? Let's look at it and say, and he will say, then the king will say to those on his right hand, come ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and we give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king will answer and say to them, what? Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. Now listen to this. All those things that Jesus said they did not do, that's why they ended up on the left. Or they did, that's why they ended up on the right. Tell me, which of them can you do in today's world if you don't have money? Hello? Did you hear me? Which of them can you do if you don't have money? Somebody talk now. Eh? None. So the reason why we want you to live in a way that you can have access to resources is so that you can do what the Lord expects us to do. And if you do, you will arrive heaven and stand on the right hand on that day. So somebody telling you to be productive, live a productive life, is not about any other thing but he's helping you. It's the best advice you can ever have. And so these 2 days, let it be. If you have known it before, it be a reminder to you that you need to live a productive life. You have no choice, you have no option. Even if you don't want to, we want you to, because we would not want to see you on the left on that day. Hello. May God help us to not live like that so that we can end up on the left. We want to end up on the right. Hallelujah. So, I think we still have some few minutes. Do we have any questions? Anybody has a question? Very briefly, because tomorrow is Sunday service. We'll not ask questions. Sorry? Okay, written. Aha, okay. Let me just drink for a little. I can say the word. Not so? I can. Okay, so, how do I see and handle business competitors as a Christian entrepreneur? How do I see and handle business competitors? Whoever wrote that question, just listen to this. There's no law that says because you have started a business, nobody should start. It's free for all of us. As long as you are doing what God expects you to do, for the reason why God expects you to do it, God will bring customers. I'm telling you. But many of us go into business with the wrong mindset. As I said, we know correct. We're not business people. We go for what? Money only. We're not talking of serving people. Competition. We're not here for competition. When we say you are a part of a whole, we're talking about without you, we can't do it. Because the leg can't complain about the hand. Because the leg cannot do what the hand is doing. It's rather complementation. We need to complement each other. Even if the people are unbelievers, don't allow yourself to be pushed into anger, pushed into wanting to destroy them because you think they are taking your market. No. As long as you are serving people for God's sent you to serve, you will get customers. Because it's not even you that will bring the customers. God will send them. Because God is looking for people who will serve his children. So don't worry about competitors. You can't stop people from starting businesses because you start, especially in this country. The moment she starts frying akara there, and then on Sunday they see that every day she comes with new wrapper, say, money day for this akara. You'll find that every woman in that neighborhood starts doing what? Frying akara. Those who know what akara is and those who don't know what akara is. Just persist with the mindset of serving people. All of these ones who are coming for money, they will run away and leave you. Because they won't go too far before the thing will collapse. That's why you must be a person who can do. If you're just going in for money and you made only skills, by the time all these things come up, you remember what we said character is? Courage. You must have the courage. You must be able to endure. The moment you start doing something, all kinds of people will stand up. Not be like that, they do them. Some will tell you, no, do it this way. Even people who don't even do their teaching. So you have to be courageous. You have to endure. And you do it for love's sake. You have a vision. I hope that is okay. Somebody will help me with some of this one, because some of the writings I can't read very well. Aha. Somebody can help me here. Please help me read them.
Let me have another mic so that's clear. No, it's many. I'm trying to read them. Okay. Much has been said about being an entrepreneur, but how can a young man in the university leverage his academic life and skills, like combining both?
There's a time and a season for everything. Why are you here? You are here to correct your head. You are here for your hands. You need to know. That's why I keep telling people, if you are here, if you don't know that the reason for being here is about the head, you not work to acquire knowledge. Many would just be thinking it's just the certificate. And friends, let me tell you, certificate is no longer all. I went to one house and I saw they were calling one boy diploma. And I said, why don't they call person diploma? They said, no, be certificate. That's to tell you how useless certificate has become. Certificate is nothing if you cannot do anything with the certificate. They told me, say, the mama go polytechnic to read diploma. She got pregnant, she couldn't finish. So when she came back and gave birth to the child, they were looking for a name to give the boy. The grandmother say, what name will they find? Not be diploma, the mama go find. She diploma. So, you are here for a certificate that tells us what's in your head that will enable you to use your hands. So there's a time and a season for everything. But it's interesting to know that we learn every day. Even the hardships that come on you are opportunities for learning. It's not a joke. This being in the chapel, for example, where you are taught, where you are led with the word of God, is part of the making. And you should make time for being here. Because as I told you, you can't live and succeed independent of God. So this, what goes on here, forms the part of the making. Filling up the head, getting the head right, to use the hands is very important. And that's why, know why you are here. Now that you know that the head needs to be right, the heart needs to be right, the hands need to be right, there are certain things that you shouldn't be wasting your time doing. I met one fellow like that, the same thing too. Say, your father told me you've graduated, right? He said, yes, he's graduated. And what are you doing now? He said, I look for a job and not get, so I've gone back to do my master's. I said, okay. You didn't get a job with BSc, now you are looking for master's. How will this master's help you to be able to get something to do? He said, okay, so instead of sitting down at home doing nothing, let us go now. Is that what it's supposed to be? No. If you finish the first degree, the second degree should make you a better problem solver. But if it's not that, it's the certificate you want, then you are in trouble. Because you will become more redundant. Nobody will pick you. How you should live, how you should school is that, look, you become a person that when they call your name, the next thing that follows is the value you create. Let them know you for the value you create. Kai coaching Tony maka iya chi. But I can't kira sunan ka chi. One day iya chin Tony and say, na him. Do you know that Inka iya chin to with the dispensation that we're in now, you can become a millionaire if it's money you are looking for. You can serve. It's about creation of value. It's not just school for school's sake. School to become a value creator. So leveraging your studies or what have you, you must have the reason for being here. Is that okay? Yes, I hope that answers you to an extent. If you don't, please pardon me. You can ask the elders. Some people will help you. Yes.
Okay, a rider to that, maybe I should take the second and the third so you can combine them together.
Okay.
In our present day world, what business or skill do you recommend for a young man who is a believer to have? How do I start it? When do I start it? Where do I start it?
I'm not surprised to hear that question. If I remove my trouser now and give it to you, you go wear it and go fit you? Will it fit you? No. Why? Because the tailor measured me and produced the trouser for me. Telling me to tell you what skill should you acquire. That is the wrong start. What you should be asking about is, how do I find out who I am? How do I know who I am? Because it is in knowing who you are that will lead you to the skill that you will need. Because the skill is like going to the market to buy tools. It's like going to buy a dress. When I go to buy a dress, I test before I wear. Maybe like one man who went to buy shoes. And he just saw the shoes. He said, I want to take aluminium, okay, so. At the end, they gave him the two, same leg. He got home and tried to put the thing in. He couldn't enter. He was struggling with it. And his wife said, what's the problem? He said, I bought new shoes, but the thing, no, they enter leg. The woman looked and said, I cover the hamburger. It has to fit you. So that is why the first knowledge you need is knowledge of who you are. parents, this is key, because many of us, the responsibility of parents is to point their children the way they should go. And that's why we have the responsibility of helping our children. Every time the boy comes home, before you know it, the neighborhood children are all around him. What have you? And he's, what have you? What does that point to you? This boy is going to be a politician or is going to be, you know, not the kind of thing we have these days. Children are looking at the wrong people and they're trying to copy them. And, you know, one young boy, we asked him, young man, when you grow up, what do you want to become? He said, I want to be senator. Hey, senator? And why do you want to be senator? He said, see, uncle, now he didn't have anything. When he became a senator, see the houses he has built, see the cars he has bought, and what have you. Eh? And then the young girl who was there, they said, and you, my dear, what will you want to be? You know what she said? I want to marry him. Why is this happening? We are not playing our role as parents. Parenting is not just feeding your children. It's not just paying school fees. It's about helping the children to know what life is, how life should be lived, because of who they are. So if he wants to be a senator because you can see very clearly that he's being called to be a politician, good, push him, let him go. But not because you see, uncle, don't buy a car, don't build a house. And she should marry for love, not for one be senator's wife. So that is key. We must know who we are. And that's education. Part of education is helping us to know who we are. So if you are here in this school, and it's because your father said you are reading engineering or you are reading medicine or you are reading computer science, whatever it is, because your father said, I want to be a father of a doctor, then you've missed it. Because on that day, left and start, we're not going to stand according to families. Everybody will account for himself. And the only way you can live life as supposed to live and get what is it supposed is if you are doing what God has called you to do. Is that okay?
So, if becoming an entrepreneur involves personal efforts, I have made efforts, but it looks like he's struggling or she's struggling. But why are some people, such as the Igbos, business inclined? Don't you think being an entrepreneur is a gift or talent?
Being an entrepreneur, as we have defined it, is about finding a problem and solving it. And we have been told that every one of us came with something that when developed, you can use to solve problems for mankind. And so every one of us has a talent that he came with. Nobody came without anything. I'm yet to see a product that has been manufactured for no purpose. A chair was made for what? Sitting. This is made as a fan. This is made for this. This is made for that. No producer produces a product without a purpose. So you couldn't have been made with no talent to do something. Yes, the Igbos. That's the one I should have not, I could have forgotten to make. Thank God for the question. The Igbos, there is their strategy of serve master for 7 years and you are settled. Do you know that is a process of making? I told you I take courses at the National Institute. At the beginning of every program, they will line all of the faculty. And they will say, this is, and most of the people come from here, professors. So they will say, professor this, professor that, professor this. So when they come to, they will say engineer. So I protested. I said, why when they call the other one professor, me when I know they call me professor? They said, you are not professor now. From which university? I said, look at you. I'm professor from University of Okonko. Yes. University of Okonko has campuses in every town. Graduates of Okonko University never go unemployed. Because by the time they go through the training, when they graduate after 7 years, they go create business bigger than Okonko. Okonko bring Chinedu. Chinedu no even fit to write receipt. He doesn't even know what have you. But after 7 years, Chinedu go build business with big pass Okonko. Why? He went through the process of being made. Okonko, customer go come. You will tell Chinedu, watch. Okay, what do you want? He say, I want Boris. He say, Boris for 504, ba? You know, in those days, be that. Okay, now Toyota. For Toyota, I say, okay, hey, now only one remain. And you're lucky, you just come the right time. Now one customer be one call, you say you want the thing, but now only one remain. So you bring the thing up and say, you see this one. Now which one you want, original or? And the man said, now original I want. They will bring the thing out and say, this one said, how much? He said 20,000. Okay, this thing, somebody told me the other day, 15,000. As Okonko they talk, Chinedu the watch. No, 20,000. No. Okay, that one a fake one be that one. He said, no, 20. Okay, how much last you go pay? Say 15,000. No, that's, no. Okay, bring 18. You know, say now money market. Just come. Pay. The man will pay and go. Chinedu the watch. Next time, another customer go come. Okonko go step aside. Oh yeah, Chinedu go. Chinedu will say, okay, what do you want? Say, Boris, say, okay, you just come right, and now only one remain. Exactly. Exactly. Like Okonko. By the time the man will just say, no, nobody's 15,000. No, I'm not going to. The man will begin come. Konko go start say, okay, come. You know, this one a small boy. You know, Sabi, make a look for book. You go look for book. If they see waiting, price. If they look at Chinedu, they'll come back, say, okay, bring 17. No problem. He's not a small boy. You know the correct price. You know, say, I want to see how much for book. The man will pay. By the time the man pay, he will come back to Chinedu and say, you see, now so they do. When customer come, not be like that they do. Okay, you understand? Okay. Next one, what happens? They travel for night bus. They go Newi, go buy spare parts. Bus break down for mile 9. They sleep for inside bus. The next day, or maybe they repair bus, go. Chinedu, Okonko, they follow. The kind of conditions where they follow, everything. He's able to function in the environment that they do the business. That's why after 7 years, he has produced another Okonko. And the good thing with them is that, you know, my name is Chikan. Not be Chikan, not Chika. So, I be Igbo man. Anytime I go to the East, when I speak, after I finish, they will come and be speaking Igbo to me. And I'll say, I'm not Igbo. They'll say, where you get the name Chika from? I say, no, man. You know, these guys, after the 7 years, these guys will go and produce a business set up from what they have learned because they've gone through the experience, not just mentally, but physically and wise. Do you know that Harvard came to study the thing? They are copying it now because it's so perfect a process of producing people. This same thing that I was talking about, you must first become. They're not just teaching them, this is how to sell spare parts, how to keep books and what. They go through the experience. They are seeing it. They are experiencing the environment that you do the business. That's why every time when I talk to my friends, Igbos, I said, you guys, honestly, you have what it takes to rule over this country. But we're not using it. Anyway, I won't talk much about that. I should keep quiet. But honestly, that is the strategy that we need. They call it a big boy or something. It's the strategy we need. Producing people who will do, not people who know. We have head knowledge, but no hand knowledge, no heart knowledge. God, this program is God ordained to. For that question, if I had not talked about this, it's the best example of the making that we're talking about. That's why there are no graduates of Okonkwo University that go unemployed. I started work in just 1981. Some of the boys that we used to buy spare parts from to repair our vehicles and the rest, today they have big shops in this town. How come? Because they went through making. So thank you very much, whoever asked that question. It's a perfect question. It's an illustration of the process that I'm talking about. It's not just gifts and talents. If you have gifts and talents and you've not become a person who can use those gifts, you are wasting your time. There's no point giving you an axe when you don't have the discipline to manage yourself and use the axe to cut the firewood. Some of us, in an attempt to liberate you from lack, they give you an axe. And as I said, because all you have is teach how to, some of us are so lazy to even go and sell the axe. We use the thing for firewood. That's how lazy we can be. That's why some are talking of, I need capital. I'm struggling for what have you. Even if I have money, I won't give you. Why? You will go and eat it. You won't use it because you've not become a person who can use. Yes, sir.
In the light of the head, heart, and hand, where is the place of natural gifts? I think that's part of the distinction. See, I know people who didn't learn what they do, but they are very good in it.
That's the talents we're talking about. So your hand development should be in line with your gifting. That's why if I'm gifted in singing, for example, or I'm gifted in using my hand to carve things, and I'm forced to go and be where I can use my legs, I'll be wasting time. Because I will never be perfect. I will never be the best that can be. So the starting point is identifying who you are. Then you will know why you are. Until you know who you are, you will not know why you are. And when you know who you are and why you are, then you will not waste time acquiring skills that are not relevant. You won't waste years doing things that will not help in enabling you live life. More so that you now know that your candle is burning. Because it will not wait for you now. Time is running out. So before you know it, your time is over. And you've not done what we came for. Your time is running out. Once the candle is lighted, it doesn't stop. You know, when death comes, when the time for death comes, you can't stop it. You must go. Told me death came to somebody's village with the list of the people's name that he will carry. The man whose name is first on the list. So death went to his house, knocked on the door. The man opened the door. Yes, what can I do for you? Say, I'm death. The people who will carry day for this village, so I don't come. And your name day first on the list. Come, let's go. The man said, I beg now, wait till next week. I get project where I won't finish. Dead, so no. There's nothing like that. He said, please. And I said, no. He said, okay, come in and take something before we go so that I can go and prepare myself. So Death came in, sat down, he gave him food, ate. Don't know what he put in the food. Death began to sleep. The man took the list and went and changed the whole thing and put his name at the bottom because Death told him he was list like that. But so when Death woke up, he said, Kai, you're a good man. Everywhere where they go, nobody ever do this kind of thing for me. I told you that we are going like this, but he said, yes. Because of what you have done for me, we'll start from the bottom. whose name is at the bottom. You can't dodge death. You can't dodge death. When the time comes, you go follow. It's a race against time. The candle is burning. You can't afford to waste time for anything that will not count on the last day. Oh, they're still there. Okay.
Sir, if I use my head, my hand, and my hands correctly and make a lot of money, how does that make me a servant?
If I use my head and my hands to make a lot of money, how does that make me a servant? The only way you can make money is if you serve. Because money is not with God. And you didn't come with money either. Money is with people. And the only way they can give you money is if you serve them. And serve them well. That's the only thing. That's why before we talk of getting you to get money, we need to make you a person who can serve. You must acquire the servant's heart. You must acquire the servant's mentality. Acquire skills that can enable you to serve. Once you have the good heart, that's why we're talking about love. If you love people, you can use your hands to serve them. Because whatever service you are rendering, as long as it is serving people and you make the money, nobody will care. When you are spending the money, does anybody ask you where you got the money from? One of my friends was telling me this guy has septic MTS. You know septic tank? The septic tank MTS, this is where they carry shit. He wrote on the thing, shit they smell, but shit money no they smell. Is that not true? Nobody will ask you, how did you get the money? But as long as you can serve people, even if not shit way they carry. So you have to be a servant first before you can serve. Because only servants can serve correctly. That's the place of this becoming that we're talking about. Yes, sir.
So the last one is, you talked about courage and character as part of what is required to be a good entrepreneur. So what's the balance, knowing when to pull out from a business if it's not working or it's not for you, as opposed to staying there and being courageous?
Good. Being courageous, as we said, yes, a bit to resist fear or whatever is coming to you. But the truth is that no matter how courageous you are, if you are in the wrong place, you are doing it wrongly, you are not meeting the needs of people, you can never get what you are looking for. And that's why it's not the courage to remain where you are not supposed to be, but it's the courage to remain where you are supposed to be. Because the moment you start doing anything, 3 types of people will show up. You have to watch out for them. And for that, you need courage. The first set of people will want to tell you how to do the thing. Not be like that they do them. They will all kinds of things to get you to leave the thing and do it their own way. The first question you should ask them is, if una sabi do like that, why una know they do them? If you insist and you are still doing, the third group of people who will come, they say, okay, now I can see that you are determined to do this thing. Okay, but if not so you want to do them, this is how you should do it. They want to tell you how to do it. If you still refuse because you know exactly what is supposed to do and you insist on doing it because we know the right way to do it, you know what will happen? These same people who are trying to discourage you or they are trying to tell you will now say, hey, Baba, they begin to celebrate you. And that's the time when every wedding ceremony you are chairman. Every, what have you, you are mother of the day. What are they doing? Trying to get the money from you. And if you are not wise, if you don't understand, before you know it, they will suck all the money and you back to where they are. You'll be like them. So courage to resist derailment forces, which most of the time they come through human beings. Because you know, God walks through human beings, Satan walks through human beings. That's one thing you need to know. So you must know the difference. So it's courage to remain where you are supposed to be, to do what you are expected to do the way you are supposed to do it. And then the courage also to live where you are not supposed to. Because there are times that you found yourself in the wrong place, but shame may not allow you to. Because you say, if they say, they will say this, and you are losing, and yet you are trying to be there. So, I think we've come to the end. Brothers and sisters, becoming an entrepreneur is not a choice. We need to be. But as I said, it's not about we must all open shops. No. Entrepreneurship is solving problems for people. And there are different ways of doing it based on what God has called you to do. Some of you read the book, Things Fall Apart. You remember that book? Fantastic book, isn't it? But there was one man there, who multi-talented person, but he died poor because he did not know how to position himself to use the talents that God has given him. Unoka, you remember Unoka? Good storyteller. The man could blow flute, but he lived and died a poor man. When they were burying him and they told his son Okonko to bring cow where they were killed, the Okonko look at them and say, go and ask him wherever he is, whether he left a chicken when he died. The man was so poor, but he died with talent. He could tell stories, he could blow flute. If he had the skill to use those talents where he could use them, he would have become a multimillionaire. So our problem is not knowing this fact and not becoming entrepreneurs and then not knowing who we are. I pray that God will help us. And he has already made provision to help us. The problem is with us. Ask God to show you who you are. Then you will know what you should be about. Tomorrow, as I said, I'll be analyzing a case study about how somebody who had none, had a problem. Actually, it was a problem of money. As a Christian, I sought help. But before the help was given, there were certain steps that were followed. And you will see very clearly this fact that the person did not give the person money. If somebody comes to you crying for money and you carry money, give him, you've not helped him. You didn't give the person money, but show the person what to do. But before they showed the person what to do, they checked to find out whether the person has become a person who can do. So don't miss church tomorrow.
I think you can do more than that, isn't it? Hallelujah.